My name is Marjan Moghaddam, and I'm a digital artist and an animator, and I live and work in Brooklyn. And actually, right now, I'm in my studio. I think the best way I can talk about my art and sculpture is to also talk a little bit about my history. I've been working with a computer actually since the 1980s, and some of the first pieces that I did as computer art and exhibited as computer art were with the Commodore 64. And then in 1986, when the Amiga came out, I mean, I was almost ecstatic because I was finally able to do a lot of the pieces that I had always wanted to do. And I created a pretty large body of work, especially going into the 90s with computer generated fractals. And I was also working as a production artist, as a CG production artist during the day. And in 1995, I was part of a very, very large group exhibition of digital art, computer art, quote unquote, cyber artists. And for that, I actually created an early virtual reality. It was basically an infinity mirror, a mirror-lined cube, and at the top was a monitor showing, my fractal animations, and there was a sliding chair, so people would go in and their head would go right into that mirror-lined cube, and then it was like the infinity mirror of these fast-moving fractal animations in 1996. So I decided to create what at that time was a virtual and virtual reality version of my performance for the early internet. So I created a 3D avatar of myself. I was working in CG production during the day, so I was pretty well versed in commercial 3D CG techniques of that era. I created an internet-based art piece called In Contemplation of Chaos. At that time on my site, marjan.com, and it was also mirrored for the launch of .com Gallery and International Forum for the Digital Arts. That was the first physically based and internet-based commercial art gallery in New York City in 1996. And for the launch of the gallery, I did the same exact performance physically and in reality, and then virtually off the internet at 55 Broad Street, the New York Information Technology Center building, which was wired to have high-speed internet, which was a very big deal in 1996. Late 90s, I did a whole series of pieces called The Adorations with abstracted 3D CG figures covered in fractals. Some of those were also in various SIGGRAPH computer art galleries. So I think it was around 2008 that I started to experiment with motion capture. I was using a Vicon studio, early Vicon studio for motion capture. And in that animation, I actually ended up using mocap of improvised performance, audio triggering of the modulated parts in the abstracted figures, and character animation. The piece was exploring post-traumatic stress syndrome with what was completely dissonant experimental music too. So, and I used the same figures to then create a pretty substantial collection of fine arts pieces that I exhibited from around 2010 to 2016 called Of Revolutions. I showed that work as 2D prints, really spectacular large 2D prints. I showed them as animated paintings, literally animations, high definition animations playing inside of gilt frames. And I also showed them as, as 360 VR. I actually showed them as avatiered performance. And for the avatiered performance, I teamed up with the Philadelphia Game Lab, and we used the Unreal Engine to let the audience bring my Unreal Engine and Connect. And we allowed the audience to sort of bring my David and Goliath figure to life. People loved acting out my whole David and Goliath suite with Avatar technology. So I'm sort of debating the best way also to make these apps available publicly, and I might be making some available for download on my website. I might be exploring other ideas through various different Apple Store or Google Play, etc. What is the right way to make these available as art, not novelties, because they're not novelties, they're art. And so, like, how do you do that? How do you price that? And thank you so much, Nina, and thank you so much for your focus for this interview and the wonderful questions. I really like VR Focus, and I'm learning a lot from your channel. And this morning I was reading about the new Unreal features for AR and VR, and I'm going like, well, gee, maybe I should go back to using Unreal instead of Unity. So there you go, VR Focus. You're already changing my mind as to what I'm going to be working with next. So thank you so much, and it's been a great interview. Where can people see my art? These art hacks on Instagram. are real shows as far as I'm concerned. The old museum in Germany on my domain, marjan.com, that is the best, native form for the virtual art that I do.